tell people like at 7:30. I didn't know we were gonna go back to 7. So.
Okay, weird. It was showing up that we were streaming, but for some reason it was like, "Oh, go live," and it's not. It's not popping up. Oh no, there you go. That's
Okay.
so. That's fucking strange. Yeah. No, it was. I clicked the button and let me see. Ah, shit. Yeah, we missed the beginning part. My bad. Anyhow, well, I'll just go back ahead and I'll say, welcome back, JT. And we had Mr. Johnny Joestar say his introduction. For some reason, it didn't cooperate the same way as it did last time. It made me click two buttons instead of just one. Fucking weird. But, yeah, no, we're back on. All right. And then we also have Miss CA with us today again. You still there, Miss CA?
I am, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I am super excited today. I brought some pointers. I'm ready for everything that's going to come in, and I'm ready to do some speaking, some talking, some commentary.
Nice. Definitely looking forward to hearing what you say. And oh no, we have two more, not finally. So we have Mr. Ioman, aka Mr. Jono. Say what's up.
Mr. Oyman.
Mr. Oyman. There you go. I forget. It almost sounds like Mr. Ointment, but Mr. Oyman.
Yeah, Oyman. Oyman,
right.
like that, right? I'm doing good though. I'm excited to do another one of these Marvel Mondays. The last one was a lot of fun. This one should be a lot of fun as well.
Yeah, we got some cool stuff coming here. As well as a quick idea I had. And then, of course, last but not least, we have Slucius XL. You there, Slucius?
Yeah. Slucius. Nope.
All right, I guess he's not there. I wonder what happened to him. Slucius. He left. He said, "Fuck y'all." All right.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, there you are.
Can hear you?
Hey.
Yeah, I had to hang up and I do it back.
How's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking.
I got stung by a bee again.
Dang, dude!
Again?
A month
Yeah.
period.
On my neck.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Oh,
right smack in the dip.
You put
like,
you put bleach on it. You put bleach on it.
Idiot! I can't believe you fucking said that shit. That got me so mad. that.
Why?
Because that's not. You don't do that. You don't put bleach on that.
Well, I've never been stung, so I wouldn't know.
You do not put bleach on a bee sting. That's the stupidest thing that you could do.
Slucius XL, look who's here.
We'll call you B Man. You're the B Man.
Oh, no.
No.
I'm not Nick Cage. I'm not the Beast. Not the Beast.
The Witcher.
Dude, we have to make Wicker Man with you starring in that role now. It has to happen.
Not the Beast. I lose my eyes.
Oh shit! What the hell happened there?
Yeah, what was that?
Yeah, it sounded like a robot.
But yeah, at least it doesn't hurt as much as it did with my hand. It's just a little swollen. Yeah.
Well, that was rather unfortunate.
Your hand, you're using it, so it's gonna get worse.
But anyways, so we'll get started. Last week, of course, we had Mr. Joestar come up with the idea to go ahead and have like a sort of face-off type thing, and I thought that sounded pretty good. So the contestants were Cable from the X-Men series and Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
So like, I mean, the thing is, it's like I wanted to go ahead and just give a little bit of background for those people who don't know anything about Marvel, because I actually ended up trying to see if I can get some family and some friends to listen into this, and some of them don't know jack squat of Marvel. So
That's That's what actually was funny. I was about to say I had a similar idea. I was talking to Slucius this past weekend. I was thinking of adding a little bit of history for those either on the panel or at home on maybe before we do the team up, have it someone like I'll assign someone a character that they want to pick, and next week they'll go ahead and give like a quick brief background on that character, like first appearances, powers and abilities, stuff like that. Just a quick rundown, and then at the end of the episode I'll have an opponent for that person based on what character they chose. That way we don't have the audience just going blind. Maybe somebody says, who the hell is Cable? Kind of like what you were saying.
Okay. Yeah.
I like that idea.
Cable.
That's good.
Yeah, I'd say, who the hell is Cable?
All right, so I'll let you give a rundown on these two real quick, Mr. Johnny Joe Star. That way we could get an idea of what we're dealing with.
Of like what's gonna happen? I mean,
no, of just these characters, who they are.
Oh, okay, perfect. Sorry. Okay, so Cable, also alter egos known as like Nathan Winters, Soldier X, the Traveler, but also he's like, he's the son of Scott Summers. Which, if you don't know who Scott Summers is, if you've ever seen the X-Men, come on, people. So Scott Summers is Cyclops. So he is basically his like future son when he's all, bionic arm and everything like that. So the really thing is, it's like I didn't even know Cable had super abilities. Oh yeah, it was actually kind of new to me because like I just thought he had a cybernetic arm which enhanced his strength and like agility and stuff like that. But something that I didn't know is that he actually has telekinesis and he's like a telepath, other than just having a cybernetic arm. Because I just thought he was also just like a regular marksman from the future, because he also time travels. But yeah, that's who Cable is. He's just like this big rugged dude. One of his appearances, of course, like he was in the Deadpool 2. I'm pretty sure people have seen that movie because like, I mean, you can't just live this life without watching a little bit of Deadpool. But of course, for those that haven't though, please go watch it. So my second person, James Buchanan Barnes Jr., also known as Bucky. He is basically like Captain America's sidekick. But, I mean, he's a bit of a sidekick in the first movie, and then he ends up, becoming the Winter Soldier, and then he becomes like a total badass. Which, he's also like a master at hand-to-hand. He's also a marksman. He's one hell of an assassin, I can tell you that. With his cybernetic arm that he gets, like, I mean, he already had his cybernetic arm, and then in the Avengers, he ends up getting it from, like, Wakanda and stuff, but, that's different stuff. He basically has, like, a enhanced reaction, like, I didn't really know this either about actually looking him up, is, like, he has, like, an EMP discharger.
Yep.
So, like, that his arm does. So I was just like, okay. Now, basically, the thing is, it's like I just wanted to hear the argument of people just to say who would win in that fight and what would be, like, the best points. These both have their own well-equipped abilities, like, and I just wanted to hear your thoughts.
Of course. So
for those people, for all those people that are listening, stuff like that too, look them up, look up these people, and like definitely, even just for like a first glance, just be like, this dude, because he has like better muscles than this guy. Who cares? Just give a comment or anything like that. So
we do have some comments. I'm trying to get them up on the screen so that you guys could potentially see them in a moment. But Kyle Collins says, "John, you nerd," and Carla Lima says, "Hello, John."
Oh man,
that's all good.
He's just knowledgeable. He's one hell of a crash course right there on these two opponents we have today.
Oh yeah,
good job.
So I'll let you start first. What are your arguments on who would win and why?
Who? Me?
You were still talking.
Your character.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to hear you guys' thoughts. But either way, though, you know what? Okay, so on my behalf, like, if it really comes down to it, I guess it would be Cable right off the bat because for one thing, he is a time traveler. Like I give it to them, but also I didn't realize that he could do telekinesis and the
Control
telepath. Like I
people's
mean,
minds.
it's like a big advantage. But I mean, if it was just like a basic, like he did not have that. I mean, it would probably be like a really good battle to see between him and Bucky because like I mean both cybernetic arms to the brink. I mean you're just like smashing it down. Like they're both good marksmen and like I mean they're just hammering it down. I mean I could just imagine dudes with like freaking the Cable with his ginormous like rifle and like Bucky with like Uzis and shit, like just throwing everything out there like you know what I'm saying? And then like you know like those epic like punches that they have like you know Superman versus Bizarro or something like that and they just like
With each of
clash
their
right in
metal
the
arms.
middle.
Clash, and then it
Like both of them
Sonic.
and then like they just kind of just both of their arms just break or something like that. I could just see that. And if it wasn't for Cable and his telepath or his telekinesis, honestly I think it probably would have been a draw. That or they could have just been friends and be like let's go get a beer.
Let's work together.
Yeah, let's do it. So there you go. That's my thought.
Well, yeah, pretty
Well,
solid thoughts. Why don't you go next,
go ahead,
Mr.
Alex.
Oitman?
Okay, so you know, I was thinking because, you know, Cable versus Bucky, to be honest, it's not the most fairest fight unless you put up the Deadpool 2 version of Cable against the Sebastian Stan MCU Bucky. That would be a pretty good fight because the Cable in Deadpool 2 didn't really have his telekinesis or telepathy powers. He was mostly just like, you know, skilled fighter, time traveler with a huge metal arm. And to be honest, I could see that being a pretty close fight. Maybe Cable would still come out on top just because, you know, he is a mutant. But then again, he is going up against a trained super soldier who's been like one of the best assassins for years and years and years and years and years. He's arguably even older than Cable, who's from the future. So it's kind of like, you know, kind of cool. It'd be a pretty good fight. Though. Yeah, geezer fight.
All right, so
would be cool though to see their two like metal arms clash. Though. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Ed.
So I'll probably have to get a new thing for OBS to put the comments up because unfortunately I can't get it to work. But I could still read them. I'll read them out loud if we get any. But all this is nothing but yeah. Tell them Arnold.
Bullshit.
But anyways, all right. So I'll go ahead and go. But I got a question real quick. I was leaning towards Cable at first, but after seeing some of his history and how he lost a bunch of his powers, like his telekinesis, telekinetic, and teleportation over the years, then he got him back, then he lost them, then he got him back, and then he kind of got him back and lost them again. So it's it depends on which age he's fighting them, but I'll let Mr. Joestar be the like the referee for this one because I had one question that would give an advantage to Bucky. Since Cable is technically techno-organic, but there is that techno part and that EMP that you were talking about when it came to Bucky. Would that affect his techno-organic thing? Because if it does, that kind of gives a huge edge to Bucky.
It would. I was actually thinking that exact same thing because, like, let's say if Cable did have his teleporter or whatever the hell, like, even though it's from the future, I'm pretty sure it has like an energy pulse. So like any kind of like electrical or whatever the heck, like, I mean, even by using that, I think he would basically dismantle him. Like, I mean, it would just break him. Like if he knew how to, you know, because I really can't say for Bucky himself, I'm not in his mind, but definitely, like, I mean, he is trained to kill, so he would use any kind of tactical advantage to basically kill this dude. So, I mean, knowing that he has that EMP charge, I would think that, yeah, I think he would, like, I was really leaning to it, but then, like, it's kind of like what you guys were saying, like, depending on what age he was, like, then it would be kind of like how it matters, but not knowing that he was, like, telepath or a telekinesis or anything like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, like without those powers, like I don't think it gives him like a better advantage. So, like he probably would have been creamed by Winter Soldier. But
Yeah,
yeah,
because
as far
the one I was thinking of is I'm like, okay, well, what's it called? It was like it's not just his arms on Cable; it's his whole freaking body.
yep, yeah, he's a cyborg basically. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
with that, I would personally give the edge to Bucky.
Okay.
But
So we got 1 for Bucky, 2 for Cable. Let's keep it going. Who else is going?
All right. So Slucius, your turn.
I don't think there should be any fight. You know what should happen? It should just end up being wholesome. Like they just they face each other and then they're like, nah, bro, like this is not how we conduct ourselves in this society. Nah,
So one wholesome.
nah, I'll buy you a drink, bro. Like, you can't do this. That's what
Okay.
that's what I would like to see, bro.
Okay, well then I guess a tie.
Yeah.
Well, no, there's
okay.
also
Okay, so
It's
then I
like
guess
it's like you said. Like, what's gonna happen? Like, they're just gonna punch their metal arms against each other, and it's gonna break, and that's it. There's no fight after that. It's like then they're just one-armed people just running around. So, I mean, you tell me.
Oh man, it's fine. Like I'll take that. I'll put you in the category as a draw. As a draw. So I guess 2 for Cable, 1 for Bucky, and a draw.
No, Cable, dude. You know why? Because Josh Brolin goes way harder than Stan Sebastian. So, so yeah, Cable.
Okay, well then we're switching it back to Cable. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't like Winter Soldier, dude. Like, I really don't like him. Like, I don't like that character. Like, nope.
Oh no. Oh.
Yeah, one of my least
I'm
favorite
sorry.
characters because I don't like Civil War, and ever since that movie that I really didn't like him. So nope.
But Bucky.
I can't. Oh no. I'm sorry. I have to. That triggered me. You can't. I'm sorry. I'm a big Bucky supporter. Okay. I can't have you just do that to him. Okay.
Hey, it's nothing personal. I'm just saying.
I know it's nothing personal, but I take it personal.
Hey, you like him? That's cool. It's just
eat it.
Serious. I like it.
Not my cup of tea. You like him? That's cool.
Alrighty, so we got 3 for Cable, 1 for Bucky. And even though, we still got to get the Cap in there, so Cap, please tell us your thoughts.
Yes. I think you probably already know, but I definitely go with. I gotta go with Bucky Barnes. With as you guys said, even with I know when I was researching, you had Cable with his telepathic and telekinesis, but he loses it and brings it back and loses it. So it obviously depends on which version of him you're really looking at. But overall, I think with Bucky Barnes and the amount of years that he has been, with his military background and his going back and forth, and I feel like if we have the Winter Soldier who's programmed, so he doesn't have any of his memories and he's programmed to your mission is to fight Cable, I think that he would do whatever it takes to finish that mission. And I think, hey, I gotta give props to that. So I definitely would have to say Bucky Barnes.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. There's no hate on this, okay? There's no hate on this. I actually don't mind both of them. We're just trying to see a little bit of the strengths and that's it, But I do like the heat that it starts, It's just no, you are wrong, and you know what? That's what I want to hear. I just want to hear a little bit of the the squabble between you guys, and that's kind of fun for me. Yeah, the chaos.
You just want the chaos of all this.
I do. Okay, so I guess in this sense, because we're just gonna choose the Cable with the telekinetic powers in that version. We are declaring basically Cable as the
Well,
winner.
we have one more
versus the
person
Winter
though.
Soldier.
We still have JT
Uh,
to go.
Yeah, JT left.
He might
I'm so
make
sorry.
it.
I'm sorry. I forgot.
No, anyway, I heard everybody's arguments with Cable versus Bucky, and I agree. Cable does have telekinetic powers. You know, he can fire missiles with his hands. Blah 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 blah. Plus, like with Bucky,
Uh-huh.
massive hand-to-hand combat and the Winter Soldier. It's a tough decision.
Ooh,
I have to
yeah.
go with the jar. I have to go with the jar on
The
this one
multiverse.
because I get what CEO is talking about. Of Bucky as a Russian spy, and he's programmed to do everything in his power in order to kill Cable. But with Cable and his like future self, I think he were able to see what Bucky was doing, and maybe have the plan of knowing, okay, even though Bucky is programmed, I can kind of figure out how to deal with that in the future. So it could be a draw. I'm going this for a draw, but if I have to choose Cable because he's so good, and I mean he is a mutant, so he kind of learned from the best with Cyclops, also with Professor Xavier, to teach him how to use his powers properly, because Bucky didn't really have that. I mean, he did have Captain America to kind of help him out, but that's kind of his side buddy, so he didn't really teach him how to use his powers. But I think Cable has some pros with him telling him how to develop his powers properly and how to use them wisely. So if I had to choose, I'll choose Cable. But I think just pure skill, no weapons, it'd be a draw in my opinion.
Okay, so you didn't
Yeah,
really.
I would agree with that completely too, because
Yeah.
I mean that's what the problem was. It's like literally what I said in the beginning is it's like, yeah, if these guys were just kind of like just duking it out, like it would be a definite draw. I mean, I could see them like just punching the crap out of each other, throw grenades, rifles, guns, like I mean you name it. But then like at the end of it, they would just like literally tire themselves out and just look at each other like. You want to get a beer? And it's like, yeah, dude, let's go get a beer. Okay, let's go get a beer.
That's what it said.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I guess
Yeah, it's
okay,
kind of a
so
tie.
It's a draw.
But
I mean,
we at the same time, I think we had more people towards. Was it Cable?
Yeah, it was Cable.
Yes,
Okay.
Cable.
It was 3-2.
All right.
I guess.
Well, I guess
That was close, though.
3 people were wrong, but
Let's go. Yeah, there we go. I'm with you.
Wait, hold on. I wanted to point out something cool about Cable that you have to take into consideration. So the fact that Cable is as badass and skilled as he is, all the while using his telepathy and telekinesis powers to withhold the virus that is turning his entire body cybernetic. The reason why only his arm and his eye are cybernetic are because if he didn't use his telekinesis, his whole body would be like that, and he would pretty much lose any humanity, quote unquote, that he would have.
Is the virus going through him? Is it the phalanx, the same thing that Warlock is, or is it a different one?
No, I think it comes from Apocalypse. I used to know, but
Okay.
I think that it was a virus that he got from visiting, I think, Apocalypse. But I just think the fact that he's using that brain power to hold that from spreading out his entire body while still being able to time travel and mind read people and mind control people, like, I wouldn't want to go up against Cable. I wouldn't want to be on his bad side.
I don't agree with the results.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be on anybody's bad side, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
You know,
I
it'd
still
be
love
like
Bucky, though.
You know what would be a big fear though is the fact that like Cable can like go, he's a time traveler, and like I would just be scared that like I'd be like, I part my hair one day and like he's just like, I don't like you anymore, and then like he'll go back to where like I was a baby and like strangle me or something.
Jeez, it got dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd probably do that.
All right.
I mean,
well, let's go ahead and move on. But before we move on to the stuff on the title of the video, I do want to, just in case our listeners aren't aware, but I did want to go ahead, and there was that trailer that came out over the weekend for Doctor Strange, which basically did confirm that the tickets will be going on sale on Wednesday. So
Oh yeah.
I don't know what time on Wednesday. I would say like 10 o'clock is usually when
It's
they
supposed to be 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
6 a.m.
Pacific.
Pacific time. So
Yeah,
8
so
a.m.
10 o'clock. Yeah, that's usually around the time they tend to put the.
8. It's 6 a.m. Pacific, so 8 a.m. for us.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
So if y'all want some tickets, peeps.
Yeah, we'll have
We're all
to.
gonna end up seeing it.
Oh yeah.
Just you can Venmo me before they go on sale, and I'll cover y'all the rest of it.
All right. Well, on to our first topic. Let's see. Heads or tails? Come on. Heads?
Tails.
All right.
Tails.
Bullshit.
Oh, man. So, I think I hear something. Oh man, is that Sony in my damn toilet? Ah shit. All right, so Sony left Morbius on my damn toilet, and live on the scene we had Mr. Jono, Mr. Oyman. He was the unfortunate. He drew the short straw, so he was the one who had to suffer through that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your experience?
Why'd you go see that? Why?
I had to, dude. I had to.
Oh shit.
I actually had to. I had
What?
no choice.
No.
Jared Leto.
Nobody has to do anything.
No.
There was no other way.
I will say that I didn't have to pay any money to see it, and that was the best thing about it, is that I didn't have to pay to see it.
All right. Well, why don't you describe about it? Try to keep it as spoiler free as possible.
Spoiler free.
For the most part. I mean, if there's a few things slip here and there, I don't think anyone's going to be too angry, but just kind of give your overall impressions, what the visuals are like, what the score was like, what the overall story, and if it's even worth watching. Wait, before you start. So I don't know if you guys heard when I was going through the little Sony left something, I put the shitting noise meme. And Angela Kazar says it sounds like John pooping.
Ah, damn it. Why? You're supposed to support me, not make fun of me.
Oh, no. Keep going. Keep going. It's for fun.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
The app closed out. Okay, so Morbius. So, believe it or not, there are people that do like this movie.
Martin Scorsese.
In person. Surprisingly, there are people who enjoyed how simple this movie is. They enjoyed that this movie gave us the exact same storyline we've been seeing since really superhero movies started. The good guy turns into a monster and finds himself a cure, and the bad guy is someone very close to him who wants the same powers he has, but to use them for evil. Our hero must use them for good. And yeah, this movie is exactly what you would expect it to be. I would say the coolest thing about it was that it was a comic book movie that was about a vampire instead of just a vampire movie that didn't connect to anything. The only downside to that is that the way this movie connected to other stuff was terrible. But I really liked how Jared Leto how do I put this? I really liked how Jared Leto gave it his all. Like, he actually sort of gave a shit for a character that just wasn't interesting really in the first place. This character needed to be in a movie with Spider-Man, because Morbius is a doctor who's got a rare blood disease, and he has to go and find a cure, and he finds that cure using bat DNA. And instead of just curing him, it does cure him, makes him very strong, gives him superpowers. But if he gets bloodthirsty, then he turns into a vampire with superpowers.
I heard that a lot of the scenes in the trailers weren't even really how they were in the movie. Is that true?
I mean, there was stuff in the trailers that were not in the movie. That is true. I would say this movie was very overproduced. They spent way too much money on it, and it still was low budget for a superhero movie. You could kind of tell. There was like a lot of unnecessary CGI, like the two vampires. Like, yeah, you would have to probably use CGI to have two vampires fighting and make it look quote unquote cool. But they had, it was like when they were fighting, we would see sonar waves go everywhere because they both had sonar powers. But also when they moved really fast, they had this inky, smoky residue come off of them, kind of like Nightcrawler smoke. And it made no sense whatsoever. I was waiting for them to explain it because they were explaining everything else about Morbius when he's like testing himself and he's like, seeing what his limitations are and what effects has, like I liked all of that stuff. That was in the first half of the movie. But then by the end, it's just like hard to tell what's going on. There was literally a shot where they were falling through a falling building and then crashing underneath into a subway. And I was just like, what is going on? I honestly have no idea. And because the main character, Morbius, he's in the comics, he's in love with this woman named Martine. Now, Martine is in this film, but she's barely a presence, as is most of the characters. Actually, every character except for Michael Keaton and except for Morbius and Milo, who's played by Matt Smith. Matt Smith does a good job. The problem is his character is just not very interesting. They don't do anything with him. He turns evil on the tip of a hat, and you're like, why is he bad now? Why is he? Oh, because reasons.
Because it's Sony.
Why are you the way that you are?
Yeah, it's
So Sony has no idea what they're doing, clearly,
Why are you the
especially
way
with
that you are?
post-credit scenes. And they, I would say that if they are building up to a Sinister Six or something of that nature, the best way to go about it would be having these so-called villain characters like Kraven and Morbius and Vulture and Venom. They'll probably have them team up to kind of think they're doing their own superhero team. Like they think what they're doing is they're doing good, but it's kind of like The Boys where they're actually dicks and they don't realize it. But the problem is Morbius in this movie, it doesn't show anything about him that would be villainous. Like Venom eats people. Morbius does not eat people. I mean, he does at the beginning, but like that's his thing. He doesn't want to kill people. He doesn't want to kill humans. He only wants to
It's
stop
just
monsters and shit.
Sony.
He's a superhero.
As soon as Sony gets a whiff of a success, even if it's not to their own doing, they just want to go run rampant. They tried this right at around the time of the Amazing Spider-Man. They're like, oh, the first one wasn't total ass. Let's make an Aunt May movie. Let's make this. Let's make that. It's just it's
Let's
just
make a Sinister Six movie.
Yeah, and they try to rush it. It's just it's dumb. I don't know why they get that way.
Because money. But anyway, I would say with Morbius, it's like not as bad as Fan Four Stick. That's the best thing I can say about it.
I lied.
But
I mean, I will say this. In the trailer, he says, "I am Venom." Just kidding. It's Dr. Michael Morbius at your service. That line was not in the movie, and I liked how they did it in the movie better. He just goes, "I am Venom," and then he like the way they drew it out worked better in the film than it did in the trailer. I did not like. It was very cringy in the trailer.
But he's just slandering Venom now. He's just.
It was just proving that it was like in the same universe as Venom, because they're like, oh yeah, we ain't seen nothing like this. It's that thing in San Francisco. Oh, that's where Carnage took place.
Anybody else see this atrocious excuse of a movie?
No.
No?
I will say this.
I'd rather not.
It's not like the worst movie ever, but when you compare it to other Marvel movies or really any comic book movie, especially ones that are high budget,
but
it is pretty terrible.
I don't trust your judgment. You said that Venom was fun, and if
it was,
and you said it, then you're like,
one.
oh, if you're drunk, it's fun. And I was like, dude, I was like borderline wasted, and it still wasn't fun.
Drinking, I made the mistake of drinking before watching Morbius. It made it very, very hard to get through. It felt like a 3-hour movie, and it was less than 2 hours.
Well, at least we know Martin Scorsese loved it, right? Did y'all see that Tyrese actually fell for the fake post somebody made that Martin Scorsese was like, this is the highest quality of cinema. And Tyrese was like, oh, yeah. Oh, he started sharing it. He's like, I'm so honored, this and that. And it's like, bro, chill. You could tell that was just bullshit.
Yeah. No.
Bullshit.
If they ever make a team-up movie with all these Sony villains, then I might rewatch it just to prepare for that. But I really am kind of dreading already doing that.
No,
Agreed.
I don't know if I want to bother.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
Every time Sony does, again, one little whiff of success, they go crazy and they start doing stuff that gets me, like, triggered.
The funniest thing was seeing this movie right after both the Multiverse A24 movie, but also it came out right when Moon Knight came out, and there's just such a big difference in quality between the two that it just makes it look sad in comparison.
All right,
Yeah.
so let's get away from that garbage and
No other comments, anyone?
I mean, I had something because, like, okay, yeah, like I've never seen that movie, but like, I enjoy crap movies, you know, kind of like Josh says, like the both like Daredevil and like Elektra, Hulk. I love that. Like, it was so good to me. Like, cause I was just like, oh, that's cool. Like, he just hops around like a little bunny and like takes like giant leaps, and you're like, dude, that's so cool.
It's so good. Like, so hilarious. It's so funny.
Dude,
Yeah, it is. Like, yeah, you're like.
Josh, tell me about the scene with the general. That was so funny.
No, it's such a good time. Like,
Yeah.
I was watching it with with
David
Jonathan.
and Jonathan?
Yeah. So, and it got to the part where it's the general's Sam Elliott, and we were just like slowing down like all his facial expressions because they're so crazy as shit. like the range of emotion he has, like.
You did every facial expression you could ever make.
see, but those are different though. Those I could excuse because they were a product of their time. We have evolved
They're fun.
since then. We had evolved since then, and Morbius has no.
Morbius is not fun.
Morbius has no reason to
just
be as
dull.
bad as it is, from what I hear.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, at least put some life into it. If you're going to do the same tired, repeated storyline that we've seen a million times in all these comic book movies, at least do something with it. Have some fun. Make it creepy. Oh, they tried to make it creepy, but it's PG-13. So anytime someone got slashed, you hear blood, but you don't see a single drop of blood. Oh, and then, or when you do see blood, it just looks like printer ink. It's like,
Yeah, no,
why
it
do
looks
people have
very
black blood all of a sudden?
it looks very
You know what? It's just-
unconvincing. What were you saying,
Go ahead,
Sushi?
Josh.
No, I was just saying that, like, conceptually, like on paper, like this should have been cool.
It should have worked.
Like,
It
it
should've
just should have been cool. Like, why couldn't it just been like Underworld? Just have like a special
even
effects
better.
driven like horror
Okay.
superhero-y
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like that's about a man turning into a vampire. Like, okay, that works. It's the execution.
You needed to be goth. I totally get it.
Yeah, it needed
Yeah,
to
it
be goth.
wasn't goth enough. It really
No,
wasn't,
what
'cause-
you needed,
okay.
what you needed is the emo shit in there, and it would have.
Literally. That's
raised
how the
it.
Batman worked.
It was more Jared Leto than 30 Seconds to Mars. I totally got it. It's okay. I got it.
Okay, I also think
I get
it's,
it.
like
Wait,
that's
go
the
ahead,
problem with it.
Captain.
I also think that like if it probably wasn't delayed so many times, we probably would have gotten a better quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kept tinkering with it until it just like didn't make. But here's the thing, though. Sony made this movie not knowing what was going to happen in No Way Home. They're just like, hey, we got to make a Morbius movie. We have the rights to the Vulture, and Marvel doesn't plan on using him for anything. We'll just bring him to our universe. Well, how are we going to do that? Oh, multiverse reasons. Oh, okay. But I don't think they paid attention to the end of No Way Home because the way it happened just made no sense.
Just half-assed.
Like, no, it was completely half-assed.
Well, again, let's
But anyway, moving on
let's
to
get
more
back to
BS.
something a lot better. So last week, Morbius wasn't the only live action project Marvel had. They thankfully MCU themselves had their own showing, and they brought Moon Knight. He finally arrived. What was he? He was he announced in 2019? I want to say, or was it
Way back,
2020?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way,
Between 2019
it's finally
2020,
here, and I'll let somebody else start. We haven't heard from JT, so JT, did you watch the first episode to Moon Knight?
I did, and I have to tell you guys, it was weird, and I loved it. Oh, I can't wait to, because I don't know nothing about Moon Knight. I don't know nothing about the different god or like the villains, but the
It's
more I'm
good,
going to
dude,
see
yeah.
this show, like the more I wanted to explore and watch TV shows, read comics about him, because he is so unique and his
Mhm.
powers and the DISD, and
Mhm.
it's going to be amazing. I don't know how this series is going to end, but by the looks of it, it's going to be bonkers towards like episode 3 or 4, where like shit gets like really crazy.
It's some good shit, dude. Like it's pretty
Mhm.
good. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no,
Honestly,
Oh, go ahead, Miss CA.
like just to go like on top of what like JT was saying, like I also don't know much about him at all. Like I think only seen like a few things about him, and how he has different personalities, DID. So it was just really interesting to like see how they were going to use that, and how that's going to connect to who he is. And honestly, I was really surprised watching it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, no, I
I'm
agree.
going to make a bold statement here. I think that the pilot episode, I think, is one of the second best pilot episodes of all the Marvel TV shows. I think WandaVision is number one, because it kind of gives you a more of a black and white TV. I thought Vision apparently died in that game. How did that started? So I think for the pilot episode, I think it's the second best. But I think for me personally, WandaVision's pilot episode was kind of more like, where does this going down the road?
More intriguing.
Moonlight, but I could be wrong. So we'll see.
I also really liked it too. Yeah, I'm on you with that.
I agree. I actually might think it's the best pilot, but if it is, then it's still tied with the Loki pilot. That's still my favorite. But I thought this was amazing. It was way better than I was expecting. And even though they did change some aspects from the Moon Knight comics, they do keep true to a lot of them too, and I'm very excited to see.
Well, to be fair, the version they're going for is basically the one that it's only been what, like 5 or so years.
It's pretty
recent, right?
More recent.
Like the multiple personalities didn't get here till like 2015 or 16, I think.
No, that's true. But even with that one, the one that you're talking about, the one from 2015, they still, I'll say this much, like they do portray Stephen Grant the same way that he was in the 80s and 90s and all that. Like he is still like a billionaire playboy producer type of like, and this version of Stephen is opposite of that, but that's very intentional with the. And what I like to think is that the MCU is actually going to take this character and have him eventually be the producer, like film producer, rich playboy type that Stephen Grant, becomes. And then Mark will be the mercenary personality, and then there's a third one which I don't know if they'll have in the show, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, I actually really, really liked this episode. It was
good, right?
It wasn't what I was expecting. It was actually rather lackluster when it came to action and such, but for some reason it got me engaged. I was really interested in seeing where more of Oscar Isaac, where he was going to take it, what was going to happen. I don't know, he just came off really likable, but at the same time, even when he needed to and have like a more emotional, like deeper part of it, his performance really sold it. Like when he was eating at the steak place, and it just his face, all the way he talked, the way he looked, the tears in his eyes, he just sold it.
So somebody needs to make an edit of him going, "Oh yes, steak time with Tobey Maguire's pizza time."
Cheers.
Somebody needs to make like a mashup of the two.
Later,
no, it was very Peter Parker, like Tobey Maguire. Yeah, that same kind of likable quality.
It's it was very genuine that way.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, that
it was like definitely funny though when he just like straight up he's apologizing to like the people in like that little town. He's like, sorry, I'm sorry if I did anything to you, and like just like keeps running to the stuff.
Yeah, no, he was great.
Yeah.
No, he's just so likable.
His shock reaction. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just agreeing with. He's so likable. He was funny. And I don't know, just a mystery between seeing him, like a dead body next to him, and like with blood and everything, and he's just so like cheery. He's like, "Oh, cheers! I'm so sorry."
Honestly, I kind of like that. It's kind of like
Yeah, it was great.
not unreliable narrator, but like you learn what he's learning at the
Yeah,
beginning.
yeah, that's what I'm
Like you
saying.
don't know all
He's
the
finding it out
pieces
for the
until the
first
end.
time.
It was just
Yeah.
done so well.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. It's what kept it to where, again, while it didn't have a lot of action or, I guess, spoiler alert,
I'll
it
get
didn't
to
have a lot of Moon Knight. It still was interesting.
You know what I thought was great about the ending, like the way that we see him as Moon Knight, like his entrance, is that we see that in the trailers, and yet for some reason it played so differently when you see it in the context of the show. Like it was like cheer worthy, you know. Like I felt it was like gave me that same kind of. It was the similar moment as to like seeing the Avengers circle up in that first Avengers movie, and when Moon Knight finally like just was finished beating that thing and it walks towards the camera. I loved that they cut the episode right there, and I thought to myself, you know, even if this was just a pilot that never got picked up and they never made the rest of the show and all you had was this one episode, it was like pretty much a perfect Moon Knight episode.
I was a little bit bummed out though that we finally were like,
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening.
what's it called? We were finally going to see him, and they kind of, you don't see
It's
the
shot
fight.
from the trailer.
Yeah, and then it turns out to be the shot from the trailer, and then it cuts to black, and now we have to wait till this
Always
upcoming
do that.
wave.
They always do that. It's always like some kind of tease.
It was
Always
great.
at the last minute, yeah.
They
But it's
gotta
good.
keep you
I
in.
just want to see more.
I was like, you
Yeah, but it
can't
would
do
keep, it
this
would
to
keep me
me.
in more if they had all of it, and because then I would want to see more.
I want to point out something that I heard about this show is do you all know that they've already given critics like the first 4 out of 6
Yeah, the
episodes?
first 4 episodes.
Mhm.
And so a lot of people have already seen the first 4 episodes, and I'm not trying to like I have no idea what it like happens in them or anything. They've been good about not spoiling anything.
Yeah, they've
about the
just
rest of the
posted
show,
reactions.
But they were talking about why they thought Disney did that. They're like, why would Disney send us first 4 episodes? Like that's like most of the show. It's 2/3 of the show, and then apparently it's because the 3rd and 4th episodes are more Moon Knight heavy, and so they wanted critics to like be able to see up to that point, so they could be like, you know, wouldn't be saying, oh, there's not a lot of Moon Knight in the show, and then people wouldn't want to go see it. So it's like they kind of have to let you know, like, yes, you're gonna get Moon Knight. It's just it builds up to it. It's not going to be right away.
Okay.
Why though? Why? They were like, yeah, you'll have Moon Knight, and then
I lied.
Because
But,
we have 3 characters played by 1 actor to get to, and I hear we're gonna get Mr. Knight.
yeah, but we
Yes,
only
I'm
have
very excited
6
to see that.
episodes.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem with these Marvel shows. They're all not long enough, but that's because they put so much money into them.
I actually
I
like
about Hawkeye.
I like
Hawkeye
their
needed 2 more episodes.
no, I like the amount of episodes because once you start having a little bit more, they start dragging out. I feel like
Yeah.
7 to 8 is the sweet spot. 6, you could tell a good story, but it seems like for some reason they still feel the need to have like almost like a filler episode, and I don't know why they don't just get straight to the point when they only have that amount of time. But if you go over like 7 or 8, then it starts to really like you definitely do get a couple filler episodes.
Yeah, so that's all they're
Yeah.
doing. They're cutting out the filler episodes by making each one equally relevant.
Yeah, but they also don't pick up the pace to
sometimes.
where
Yeah,
it seems like they wait till the last moment to be like, oh shit, we got 1 episode left. Let's just 40 minutes. Let's get
put it all in
everything
there.
Put
Yeah.
everything
let's
in
get
one-
everything in
one
40 minutes.
basket.
Go.
I love how people will say like, "Oh, it's like watching a 6-hour MCU movie instead of a 2.5-hour." Well, no, it's only 4 hours of actual content each show.
Mhm.
They
Because
just
you got
put so many
45 minutes and like
credits on
10, 15 minutes of credit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Did you see it,
So-
Johnny?
Hmm?
Did you see it?
Oh yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I did.
All right, I wasn't sure.
If anything, like I did watch it. I loved it. I will say, like, I mean, agreeing to all what you guys are saying. I mean, this actor actually made everything like so smooth, and the whole transition to like trying to figure out with like what is going on was just so damn funny because he was like completely like oblivious. He's just like, you know, trying to figure shit out at the same time while there's like dead bodies around him, while there's blood in his hands, and he's just like, oh, what the hell? And he's like, oh, sorry if I did this to somebody, and like just walks away, like, and it's so funny because like there are parts where I don't even know like how, you know, like he wakes up and he has like his jaw dislocated. And I'm just kind of like, oh, how in the hell he just like, and he just kind of popped it right back into place. And I'm just here thinking like, oh man, this poor guy,
That part
like
got me
he
laughing.
doesn't know what the hell is going on. But yeah, overall, like great show. I can't wait to see what's going to happen here in the future.
Yes.
Definitely, I am just a curious person, okay, when it comes to these new characters, because I'm just like, who the hell are you? I want to find out, because I did like it. I enjoyed it. And I mean, I did look them up, and yeah, like, I mean, this is like straight up like, a little bit, it kind of reminded me of like Legion.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
yeah, like
Okay.
another character from like the MCU, which
Yep.
is it's Xavier, Professor Xavier's son, who is like, poor guy. He is
Really powerful.
probably like the most the most powerful person out of the MCU. That's just what people say. I would say that, in my opinion, I would agree with that too, because like he has so many multiple personalities in his mind. Like literally, one takes over and he's got fire. Another person takes over, it's telekinesis. Another takes over, he's got like like rays coming out of his eyeballs. Who knows,
Yeah. He could do
But he
anything.
has like he can literally do anything he wants. But the only problem is that he cannot control them. So literally, his life is a living hell, and that's why I felt kind of bad for Moon Knight, like I felt bad, and you could just sit there and just kind of be like, damn, I feel so bad for this dude, because I mean, if you always got to think about putting yourself into these people's shoes, because hey, we're dreamers, right? We're all geeks here. We always think, man, how cool would it be to be Spider-Man? Now, if you actually put yourself into Moon Knight, just thinking to yourself like, man, having to struggle, what the hell is going on, like without any memory, and just in a blink of an eye, just completely gone, and then like out of the nowhere, like you end up seeing your own mirror image is basically talking right back to you, saying, hey man, you need to let me do this. And you're just kind of like, who the hell, and you got to feel a little bit of sorry for this dude. But I just can't wait what they're gonna do, because I did look him up, and apparently like he's not the only other person inside of his mind. And so if it's no spoilers, I mean, technically you can look him up. I mean, there's even like a thing that my nephew ended up shooting out. Shout out to Zane. He actually ended up showing me like this thing where it's basically a whole thing of like Moon Knight and his story and how it goes, and it's really interesting. Definitely, if you guys want to know more about Moon Knight, look him up. I don't want to say much, because like there are certain things that it's just like I don't want it to like just kind of give away, because hopefully in the next one that comes out, we'll see a little bit more of what's going to happen and how they're going to take this story. But I totally agree that like, I mean, they're probably just building him up to be this big thing, because right now he's just like this young cat who doesn't really know what's going on. And man, I gotta feel so bad, because like in his sense, he's a bit of a loser, he's like the dude, like and we've all been there, like out of the blue, like there's like this really pretty guy or pretty girl, whatever, like he's just like, yeah, hey, you want to go out to like some steak and stuff? I mean, we're gonna go. And what, like you're asking me out? Like, oh my god, I'm so honored. But yeah, so I can actually level with this dude, okay? And that's just something that it just really intrigues me, where you could just kind of put yourself in their shoes, and like you could just level with this character. And I just cannot wait to see what they're gonna do. So yeah, that's my thoughts.
I was gonna ask with what they're doing next. What do you all think that we'll see Moon Knight in a team up movie next after this show, or he'll get a season 2 first?
I was actually gonna I got a thought at work that I was surprised I didn't think about this before. Like, it goes back to that thing that we were talking about last week, where it was oh, you got the horror aspect, you got the cosmic aspect, you got the regular superhero stuff. I was wondering, are they gonna potentially tie this in because to maybe like Thor, because when I thought about it, they're introducing a whole bunch of shit like before Thor when it comes to the Multiverse of Madness, you see those creatures that look like they would be minions for what's his name? The guy that gives Wanda.
Gru?
What's that?
you said minions. I thought Gru. Never
Oh,
mind.
Gru. No,
Yeah.
Shiton. Sithon.
Oh, Chthon.
Chthon. There you go. So they look like they would be modeled after him, like his minions or something. So they might introduce him, or conspiracy theory, Mephisto.
Mephisto.
Oh, he's totally the.
Mephisto.
But
Dude,
no,
they're
but
gonna get to it eventually.
but
Yeah.
like they're introducing like these godly beings. You got what was the god from
Bast,
from
Panther God.
yeah, Bast. I know Bast, relative to the one that I'm thinking of, Khonshu.
Yeah.
Khonshu is
okay,
like
okay.
his Bast's brother, but you got Bast, you got Khonshu, you got
Yeah.
potentially the guy that gives Wanda her powers. You got
Anut.
Odin's son. And with Gore the God Butcher, they're gonna need him to kill some gods. So, do you think that's where they might go, like to demonstrate how powerful this new bad guy is go around to some of these older gods that we've seen, and maybe even introduce Hercules and have them start hacking,
I think
slashing?
we are getting Hercules. I'm pretty sure we are.
Dude,
Yeah, but
I
like-
want.
But do you think they're
In
introducing
Love and
like?
Thunder.
Do you think they're introducing
Hercules.
Moon Knight and all this because they want to get not only the horror aspect but introduce some gods for Gore to kind of go up against?
Gore to kind of go up against. Yeah, I could see that. And now I don't know if Marvel will actually do that, just because one's on TV and one's in the movies. I have a hard time believing that Taika Waititi knew about the gods that are being introduced in Moon Knight while writing
Well,
Thor 4. But
Kevin
but I
Feige's
really
kind of
think it'd be
there.
a cool idea.
Kevin Feige's kind of there, and he kind of gives them a slight blueprint, like within these parameters. So I'm pretty sure, even if he's not Taika Waititi's not involved in it, he knows to some degree.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, I think you're right. Especially because they know that Marvel. We'll say this much: I think Marvel expects a lot of people to watch Moon Knight. Their streaming service has been growing and growing ever since last year, and it's been pulling in a lot of viewers and whatnot. But if it ends up being like their best show yet, then they'll probably have expected a lot of people to have watched it by the time we get to July.
Yeah. Well,
which is
I
when
know.
Thor 4
I
comes
only
out.
thought about it at work because I saw a tweet that said that the press tour for Thor is starting,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
It's
wait,
starting,
maybe that's
yeah.
why they waited, because they wanted to kind of
Mhm.
not divert attention from this, so that you could get a layout of some of the gods and such like that.
Yeah, because people were thinking
That
that there
sounds
might be
nice.
something to spoil in like Doctor Strange, but I'm pretty sure Moon Knight makes more sense. Like Moon Knight would be the reason why they're holding off on the Thor trailer.
Yeah, I don't know.
They
That's
might be
just
wanting-
That's interesting.
that's just
Remember, like,
speculation.
3 months
I
away
heard
from
we're
that
getting the
movie?
trailer.
Like,
I heard we're getting the trailer next Monday. It's gonna be
I wouldn't be
April 11th.
surprised.
really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That'll be
Well, I mean,
fun,
we
man.
already got the final trailer for Doctor Strange. We started Moon Knight already, so they're
did?
gonna tone down.
Are you talking about that TV
Yeah.
spot?
No, I'm saying we already
No,
got
that's,
two.
That's not the final trailer.
We already
though.
got
That's not
two
the final
trailers,
trailer.
though. I doubt they're gonna release a trailer less than 1 month from the thing. I mean, we'll get TV
There-
spots.
There will be a last trailer. There will be a last trailer.
Really? They
Nope.
That's
nope,
a-
nope.
As of
I
the
don't
past
think
few-
so. I think if
I
they
don't
do
wanna
another
see-
one,
As of the past few
Well-
years, they've only been doing like 2 trailers per movie and then a bunch of TV spots.
They'll probably do another longer TV spot that'll be sort of like shorter than a normal trailer, but it won't be. As
Yeah,
far as
but-
full trailers, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we're not getting another full trailer. And
Yeah.
God,
Moon Knight
You're
already.
already talking about stuff in a TV spot that I barely watched. Because I'm like, no, I'm not on that spoiler shit, you know.
No, I mean it's all speculation. The TV spot didn't even show that much, but
I don't.
Uh,
Are you sure that Chthon is what you saw in that trailer? Because that would
He-
be crazy if they had.
he looked like the monster version of Chthon. But again, it's not them. It's not them. If
okay,
anything,
okay.
it'd be like one of his Hell Minion type things. But it's that because I don't think it's him. They wouldn't show him in the trailers, and I don't think they're gonna have him just be like an afterthought villain. I think he's just gonna be like lurking in the shadows type of thing, where they'll maybe mention his name, but I don't think we're gonna see him at all.
It'd be cool if Moon Knight showed up in Multiverse of Madness. Probably won't though.
Yeah, I just want like a
Probably
Marvel
not.
or like Dark Avengers.
Dude,
Well, they're leading up to that.
Yeah.
You're gonna have
or
probably
Midnight Suns.
you're gonna get
And
your
it needs to be It needs to be angsty as shit.
Yeah.
I want that early 2000s emo. No, I just want that.
My guess is that they're gonna have the new Avengers, basically the Dark Avengers, the Young Avengers, and then the Cosmic People and Midnight
That's what I want,
Suns.
dude. Like I want
Yeah.
like Blade, Moon Knight, Ghost Rider.
Midnight Suns,
That's a Midnight Suns.
Yes.
which unfortunately Morbius won't be a part of because he's over at Sony.
Unfortunately,
See, I was just about to say that. I've been trying to keep quiet about that whole thing because, like, I literally was thinking about that because you know how you guys asked about that last time too, like what would be in the future for to see, and like, yeah, I wanted Marvel Zombies, but I kind of went completely blank because I was like, wait, no, I was thinking about something else, and that's what it was. It was like I wanted, yeah, like I wanted to see like Blade, Ghost Rider, Morbius, because they team up, and I think it was like don't quote me on this. I think it was like the Punisher, because like they had like a thing where it was like on Spider-Man. I think I saw them because they were the Punisher. I think was like trying to go after like Spider-Man, and then like at some point he was trying to go after Blade, and then Blade was trying to go Morbius or something like that, and then they're all like, "Hey, well, let's all be," and then everybody's like, "Oh, cool! Like, hey, we got to go kill Dracula," and you're like, "Yeah, let's fuck him up." And that's what I was just like, dude, I want to see that. Like, oh my gosh, like
I want to see that too. That's perfect, dude. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
like,
into. Yeah, that's what I want to see.
I think we're gonna get to
Yeah.
that. I think we'll get to that.
So I think this
Maybe
is a
have
good.
Werewolf by Night be on there.
I think. Well, I did hear Werewolf by Night was supposed to have a Halloween special this year, and it was going to be directed by Michael
Giacchino.
Giacchino, yeah, which is real cool. I mean, he's a wonderful composer, so I want to see what
What if he?
What's
gets
up?
someone else to score it.
He
If he gets
probably
someone
will.
else to score
I
it,
mean, he's gonna have to
better
focus on
not.
directing. But I mean, if he could give a good director role in the same way he gives a composer role, then he's gonna nail it. But all right, I think this is a good spot to end it here for the week. Like I said earlier, I'm gonna choose someone. This week I'll just choose Slucius XL to choose the character that we're gonna be pinning up. So next week we'll have him read a little bit of history and background the same way Johnny Joestar did with Cable and Bucky this week, but we'll do one character, and the rest of us will just listen and see what character he picked. But thanks again, you guys. It was a fantastic conversation today and fantastic panel, of course. So we'll go ahead and and thank the people who came by and checked us out. If you did like what you heard, be sure to just hit that like button and maybe even the subscribe button so that you could keep joining us on these just fun conversations. It doesn't cost anything. It's not, and it will mean a lot to all of us. So thank you, panel, again, and
make me famous.
And why doesn't everyone just say goodbye before we close this out?
All right, see ya.
All
right. Adios, people.
See ya, bros.
See y'all next week, and take care and Excelsior.
Excelsior.
You know how much I